You saw the title. Yes, people are quietly exiting 10 of the most recognizable states, and it's not just about rent. In 2026, the US is pivoting hard. Unilateral moves abroad, a 75% cut to democracy and human rights funding, and a retreat from the old multilateral playbook. So here's the twist. The states still priced and governed like the 1945 rulebook is intact are suddenly fragile. Today, I'm counting down 10 places where the smart money says, hedge elsewhere. Stay to the end, because number 3 flips the coastal visa's heartland narrative on its head. Number 1, New York. New York still sells the all-access pass, media, finance, culture, like the cover charge didn't triple. But here's the catch. The global bar tab got split. Tariffs jam trade, visas slow, multilateral gigs shrink. You're paying luxury prices for a network that ghosted. Corporate moves chase tax stability and domestic supply chains, not midtown bragging rights. Money tilts toward onshore energy, defense, and AI infrastructure. Tourism softens when routes get cut and a strong dollar slaps foreign wallets. Add crime perception cycles and heavy local taxes, and the risk premium turns into daily life. So, the world capital markup without a working world order? Pass. If the passport loses stamps, where else is that 1945 pricing still baked in? Number 2, California. California still sells the myth. Launch here, scale everywhere. Sounds great. But here's the catch. When trade gets political and energy prices creep, the runway shortens fast. Tariffs and friend-shoring jam hardware and clean tech timelines. Venture wants cash flow, not 10-year moonshots. AI build-outs guzzle power. Utility rate cases on the West Coast keep inching up. Ports stall on origin rules, so freight reroutes. Studios trim budgets, push shoots to cheaper states, and lean into AI tools. Median home price eats 2 paychecks. Insurance retreats from wildfire zones. Small founders can't float premiums and payroll, so the upside tax feels steep. You hedge with low power, simple logistics, and policy built for domestic resilience. If California is innovation priced for a world that's pausing global scale, what about the Midwest's old capital of scale? Number 3, Illinois. Chicago won the heartland by being the switchboard. Trains, trucks, planes, all roads led through the loop. That was the cheat code. But here's the catch. When global freight cools and reroutes, the hub pays top-tier bills while volume bleeds. O'Hare lives on churn. Thinner Asia and transatlantic lanes squeeze fees. Downtown offices, hybrid work plus price your debt keeps towers half awake. Intermodal shifts steer new warehouses toward corridors tied to energy and defense, not the I-90 postcard. So here's the thing. You don't flee for politics. You flee because the network discount vanished while the invoice didn't. If the connection tax rises as the connections thin, can the tri-state hedge do better? Number 4, New Jersey. Jersey rides New York's gravity. When that pull weakens, the math breaks. You're paying top-tier property taxes, rising insurance, and commuter costs for a perk that's fading. Fewer office days shred pre-tax transit benefits and monthly passes. Port tariff friction pushes containers toward Gulf and Southeast docks. Flood maps get redrawn. Premiums jump on coastal homes. Schools stay pricey, healthcare climbs, but salary upside shrinks when bonuses go thin and remote teams hire elsewhere. Post-pandemic rail ridership lags weekday norms, so you pay for service you don't fully use. So here's the thing. The old arbitrage, live in Jersey, earn Manhattan money, doesn't clear if Manhattan's premium gets discounted. If that hedge weakens, who still wins on brains? Number 5, Massachusetts. Massachusetts sells IQ like it's a commodity. Labs, hospitals, and campuses minting breakthroughs and billing at premium rates. Here's the catch. When federal democracy and human rights programs shrink and international science ties cool, the grant hose sputters. NIH cycles feel tighter, foundations get picky, and biotech IPO windows don't stay open long. Higher rates stretch exits, so venture rations rounds. International students hit visa speed bumps, and that means fewer research assistants, fewer full-pay tuitions. Lab space in Boston/Cambridge sits longer, pricier, with more sublease signs. Hospitals juggle wage inflation while payers push back. If your income depends on those thick pipelines, the chill hits paychecks. From brain hubs to bayous, Petro risk up next. Number 6, Louisiana. On paper, Louisiana looks like a cheat code. Cheap feedstocks, deep water ports, refineries stacked along the river. In a tariff-heavy onshore push, you'd think it prints money. But here's the catch. Climate-exposed assets and an insurance pullback flip the deal. Carriers hike deductibles, cap wind coverage, or exit entire parishes. Flood maps get redrawn. X zones turn AE, and premiums spike like a luxury car payment. Homebuyers pause. Plants delay final investment decisions to add elevation, berms, and backup power, which torches IRRs. If disaster aid drips slower in a fragmented world, parish budgets groan. Louisiana has upside, if you can insure it. For many families, that's a hard no. Up next, the West Coast promise. Does it actually hold? Number 7, Oregon. Oregon sells zen, trees, trails, and a tech-light paycheck that lets you log off at 5 and touch grass. Sounds clean, but here's the catch. Decoupling slams export niches, and higher rates keep mortgages out of reach. The semiconductor bet needs long timelines and steady subsidies that can wobble if DC priorities spin. Downtowns fight public safety and addiction drag. The vibe tax is real. Port strikes and tariff flare-ups ripple to small manufacturers. Office-to-resi conversions move at glacier speed. Families read property crime threads, then bounce to the burbs. Portland's office vacancy and outflow trends aren't your friend. Big chip announcements aren't the same as shovels. Oregon works when vibes equal value. In 2026, they don't. Up next, Washington's scale. Number 8, Washington. Washington looks like a cheat code. Cloud money, airplanes, ports. But here's the catch. Costs spike while trade breathes through a straw. AI build-outs inhale electricity and water. Hydropower helps, yet transmission bottlenecks and new demand push rates north. It's like buying a Tesla, then learning the charger costs more than gas. Data center moratorium chatter pops up, permitting turns combative, and utilities file rate cases. Export rules whiplash Boeing suppliers. Ports juggle Asia tension and origin rules, so throughput wobbles. Farm exporters eat tariffs. Seattle housing still demands a premium while the office core limps. If your paycheck rides global cycles and your bills ride megawatts, 2026 isn't a discount year. East Coast policy hubs next. Number 9, Maryland. Maryland sells proximity, federal money, global organizations, biotech down the red line. That's the pitch. But here's the catch. If DC swaps coalition building for chest thumping, the paychecks shift. Governance and rights programs get trimmed, and the cuts ripple through contractors and NGOs in Bethesda, Rockville, Silver Spring. International hires face visa slowdowns, so research centers stall. NIH holds steady, not generous, while lab build-outs and compliance inflate costs. Think tanks consolidate. Contractors chase fewer, narrower awards. And the traffic? Still a boss fight, even when your project didn't land. If your rent assumed a global problem-solving capital and the capital stopped solving globally, your spreadsheet breaks. If the Beltway halo dims, does New England's finance light hedge hold up? Number 10, Connecticut. Hedge fund country without the hedge. Connecticut's sales pitch is clean. Great schools, quiet streets, and a commute to capital, Or a hedge fund desk in your bonus room. Sounds safe. But here's the catch. If Wall Street leans into defense, energy, and AI infrastructure, Fairfield County's premium looks heavy. High property taxes and legacy costs chew cash flow. Coastal insurance creeps up with flood exposure. Remote teams hire in Florida and Texas, so comp thins here. Fewer bonus cycles mean fewer stake nights and slower Main Street. Office parks chase biotech conversions that live or die on grants and visas. Commuter rail is elite if you need Midtown, brutal if you don't. So the arbitrage shrinks.